Welcome to Your Home Arts. As March is the birth flower of daffodils, I've been inspired to show you how I draw some, and also to show you how I paint these. So stay tuned till the end to see the final result. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Let's get into the video. I'm using a Pink Pig A4 sketchbook. I really like their sketchbooks, plus they have been recycled and they're great quality. I'm also using a mechanical pencil and a putty rubber. All will be listed in the description below. I'm using a daffodil that I picked from the garden. This will be my reference throughout my drawings. I'm starting off by making an oval shape. This is at an angle, and on top the line is straight, and below this it's more curved. I'm adding a smaller oval shape on the top, and on either side I'm drawing lines at an angle going down. I'm closing that off at the bottom. Next I'm going to draw some lines going out, and this is going to be my guide for my petals. As I draw my petals, I'm starting off with my main petal and I'm working my way round. I'm making sure that the petals are overlapping. This gives it more of a layered look. Once I'm happy with this shape, I'm going to add some curly wiggly lines at the top of the daffodil and add any other lines that I need to. I'm starting off by making a rough circle and drawing some lines going through this. And around this I'm drawing an outer circle, and this will act like a guide for my petals. On the centre circle I'm adding that swirly line round the edge. And I'm marking out in the centre of that circle, and this is going to be the stamen. Next I'm going to add the petals. I'm drawing them again overlapping each other and making sure some of the petals look like they're behind the other petals. And adding any additional lines and line shading. And on to our next drawing. This is similar to our previous one and the principles are the same, but I'm drawing this in a slightly different way. In the centre, I'm drawing out that swirly line and going round that circle. On one side, I'm drawing the line slightly at an angle and drawing a curved line just above this. And this will give that illusion that it's slightly at a tilt. I'm just drawing the petals and making sure they're at a slight angle. And I'm adding the stamen in towards that curved line that I made, and just adding any additional lines to help make look like it's at an angle. And going back to my daffodil and using that as my reference. For the next drawing, I want to have the view from behind the daffodil. So again, using that daffodil as a reference. I'm starting off with a larger circle, and in the centre I'm drawing a semicircle, and on each side I'm drawing a line going down, and from that I'm drawing some lines going straight down. Once I'm happy with that, I will draw my lines for the reference for the petals, and drawing in those petals. For the first petal, I'm just drawing this to make it look like it's not pointed, so the line looks more curved at the top, and drawing out the rest of the petals. Once I've drawn out all the petals, I'm also going to show some of the front of the daffodil by drawing that swirly line in some of the gaps of the petals. On to our last drawing. I'm drawing out that oval shape again at an angle and a smaller one above this. This is very similar to the first one that we did, but the cut part of the daffodil is going to be shorter. And drawing the same lines out, and these are the reference for the petals. I'm making sure that I space them out slightly. So starting off with that initial petal and really using those lines as a guide and for the angle of the petal and slightly overlapping them. I'm also adding any additional curved lines to the lines that look harsh and adding some light line shading. And again, adding that signature curly part that daffodils have at the top. I like to curve out the lines that facing towards me. This makes the daffodil look more open. Once I'm happy with my daffodils, I'm going to use some tracing paper to go over some. I like to use this method if I'm drawing out a pattern of flowers. This will ensure that I get the same size shape of the flowers, plus this is helpful to mark out too. So I've drawn out all the daffodils that I wanted and copied them all onto another page, and this will create my pattern for my daffodil illustration. So this is my daffodil pattern. I've drawn this out previously and added some long leaves to this as well. And I've also added a border around this. Let's get on to the painting portion of this video. For this, you'll need a jar of water, a set of paintbrushes, a palette, and I'm using some acrylic paints. These will all be listed in the description below. When working with acrylics, I like to mix different shades together. Sometimes I find the paint can dry out, so I make sure that I use plenty of water. This can also help blend the colours together. I always use different size paintbrushes, and this will help with any extra details. And another helpful tip is not letting your paintbrush dry, so make sure you're topping it up with paint or adding water to this. This makes it much easier to work with the paint. I really like the way this has turned out. I enjoyed using the acrylic paints, and it gives a really nice look to this daffodil pattern. So here is the final art piece. I've also cut this out and added it back into the sketchbook with some washi tape at the top. Once the paint was dry, I added some line shading with fine liner pens. I think this gives a great finish to the look. Be sure to check out my Instagram for more inspiration. Thanks for watching.